This comic illustrates various ways people use polite language, euphemisms, to excuse themselves to the bathroom in social settings. It is a great visual for your ESL students to see how different expressions lead to the same destination. Description of the frames. The comic is divided into two rows. The top row features a man named Carlos, and the bottom row features various women at a cafe. Frame 1. Carlos is at a party or social gathering. He tells his friends, "I'm going to freshen up," as he walks toward a hallway labeled restrooms. Frame 2. Carlos is still walking and clarifies his intent, going to the bathroom to freshen up a little. Frame 3. Carlos reaches the door marked restrooms and says, refresh. Frame 4. Three women are sitting at a table with drinks. One woman stands up and says, "I'm going to touch up a little bit." Frame 5. The same woman is now at the restroom door holding a lipstick. She says, "Touch up my makeup." Frame 6. Back at the table, one woman is applying lipstick while her friend says, "And I'm going to powder my nose." Current expressions, 2026. While freshen up and powder my nose are classic, modern English speakers often use a mix of direct and idiomatic phrases depending on how formal the situation is. This cartoon captures the literal definition of a wedding day disaster with a humorous twist on pre-wedding jitters. Here is a breakdown of the chaos unfolding at the altar. The groom. A classic case of cold feet. It looks like the groom is having some serious second thoughts. He has developed a massive case of cold feet, but that doesn't necessarily mean he has stopped loving his bride. Rather, he is suddenly overwhelmed by the weight of responsibility that marriage carries. He's realized that tying the knot is a permanent move, and the pressure has him in a cold sweat. Instead of taking the plunge, he's decided he'd rather take a hike. Looking like a deer in the headlights, he is trying to make a break for it and run away before he officially becomes a husband. The groomsmen, keeping him honest. His godfathers, the best man and groomsmen, are not about to let him become a runaway groom. They are physically grabbing him and holding him back with everything they've got. They are determined to make sure he sticks to his word. In their eyes, he gave his word when he put on that tuxedo, and they aren't going to let him go back on his word now. They are basically dragging him to his destiny, shouting that he can't leave now because they know he needs to face the music. The bride, shocked and mortified. The poor bride is standing there at a loss for words. She doesn't understand what is going on, or why her husband-to-be is suddenly trying to bolt for the door. For her, this is beyond embarrassing. It's a total public relations nightmare in front of all their friends and family. She's looking on in disbelief as her big day turns into a wrestling match. The Peanut Gallery, a church full of chaos. The priest. He is absolutely flabbergasted, peering over his glasses as if he's never seen a man try to skedaddle mid-ceremony before. The guests, they are aghast. You can see the shock on their faces. Some are gasping, others are pointing, and everyone is getting a front row seat to the most dramatic wedding of the season. The sign, even the just married banner in the background, has a question mark on it, perfectly poking fun at the fact that this marriage is currently hanging by a thread. While panic before marriage is understandable, this guy is taking it to a whole new level. He's trying to escape the old ball and chain before the chain is even attached, but his friends are making sure he stays the course. That's a fun, spooky story. The description you provided is very accurate to the comic panels. Here is a version that uses some more modern, flowing language and uses the name Edward while keeping it simple enough for students to follow. The spooky surprise at the costume party. Wasari Tigrid is throwing a big costume party, and everyone is dressed up in creative outfits. There are people in all kinds of funny costumes, like a pirate, a princess, and even a Frankenstein monster. However, one guest really stands out. Someone dressed as a ghost is running around chasing a girl in a bee costume. She looks absolutely terrified, and everyone starts to notice. The ghost seems to be having a great time scaring all the guests. Suddenly, the clock strikes midnight. Edward announces that it's time for everyone to take off their masks and reveal who they really are. He walks over to the mysterious ghost and says, "Okay, now it's time for you to take off your disguise." The ghost hesitates and looks nervous, so Edward reaches out and pulls the sheet off. To everyone's shock, there was nobody inside the blanket. It wasn't a costume at all. It was a real ghost the whole time. Everyone's jaw dropped in total disbelief. Key vocabulary for students. Disguise, a costume or way of hiding who you are. Reveal, to show something that was hidden. Hesitate, to pause or wait before doing something. Jaw-dropping, very surprising or shocking.